Okay, so in this part of the course, we're going to talk about going through friends that flirt. There is clear sexual passion to proper friends with benefits, meaning that sex becomes part of your and her relationship. Now, you would say, well, isn't that being a couple? Not in her mind. In very rare successful cases, even on this stage, she realized, oh my God, I'm still not over you. I want to give us a try. That happens. And then if it happened, congratulations, the course is already over for you. And you're, we had the statistics somewhere, I think you're around like 14% of people who go through this course. On this stage, you're already back together with her. For everyone else, there has to be another step. And this other step is, here's the strategy how we're getting her back. First, we get her feelings back. Then we get her body back. And then we change her mind. You tried just changing her mind. And as you can tell, it didn't work. That's why you bought this course. But you already engaged her feelings with flirting, and she's anxiously waiting to get her fix of your communication. She loves it. You know by how she responds. Great. Now let's make it physical. So it's simpler than you think, but it's simple because you can do it now, because of all the previous work that was already put into it. You solved all the conflicts if there were any. You went through acquaintances to closer friends. And then from friends, you flirted things up to, I don't know, I'm still not over with my ex. We keep texting each other and I just can't stop. You got her to that stage. Now, what do you say to her? Let's meet up for coffee. Just as friends. Now, this phrase, just as friends, can sound damaging, but I don't want just as friends, I want more. But here is the power of friend zoning. Whoever is friend zoning is controlling the situation. If she says just as friends, that means that she can take this friendship or change it to something more because she is choosing the situation. If you said just as friends, you can change that when you need to, but you also give her a permission to go, even if in her mind still, I'm not going to get back with my ex, we're just talking, let's meet up for coffee. Ideally, you would say, let's meet up for Netflix and chill and make sure that you're not on your period. But that doesn't work. I can tell you that doesn't work, unless she says it herself. Okay? But you meet up for coffee, and during that meeting, you keep the flirty atmosphere. You pretty much do in person the same things you did over texting, you know, in the messengers and maybe the calls you had, the voice messages you had, all of that. You keep doing those things, but in person. At a certain point, you can touch her, it's totally fine, and notice her reaction. If from the touch you get that she's having those, you know, wow, start playing with her hair and look at her lips. If when you look at her lips, you get like a positive smile, little smile, kiss her. And the next situation will be, I don't know what, we shouldn't be doing that. And you say, yeah, we shouldn't be doing that. And you kiss her again. And if you did everything right up until this point, you will be making out with her. Here is an interesting part. Here, like it's a choose your own adventure. There's like two paths here. She can say, okay, we went overboard. That shouldn't have happened. You're right. Just friends. Just friends. And you just keep the conversation going. Say thank you. You go your own ways. You flirt again. and next time you say, let's meet up for a drink. You drink together, you make out more, you go into more physical, and then you go upstairs to your place. That's how usually it happens. Sometimes she doesn't say it shouldn't be happening, like, oh my god, I can't stop myself, and then the first meeting goes up to like complete like sexual thing. What happens in bed after that matters a lot. It has to be a mind-blowing experience that she never experienced with you or anyone else. I had to go through quite a few things to figure out what to do physically. And again, it was actually a course that I used to offer, and people still buy it separately. But like now I'm just going to go back into that course and like include it for you so you know what to do sexually. So right now the frame will change to me earlier, because this thing didn't change in 1 year. The female psychology didn't change, and especially female physiology didn't change. It didn't change for thousands of years. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do with her in bed so it really works. So let's go. Hi, in this course we're going to talk about how to please your woman sexually. Now, why is it important in our case, in our topic, in our goal to bring her love back? Because here's the thing. The best way to change someone's feelings is to change how their body feels. Because what we call feelings is essentially just hormones flowing through our brain and through our body, and the sensations in our nervous system. And if we do it right, the sexual passion and love is really connected. And once you get her in bed, it is crucial that she gets the best experience, the best sexual experience of her life. So in this course, we're going to focus on what to do specifically. Now, we're going to talk about both psychology and physiology. And please be aware that some of the things that we're going to talk about are of sexual nature, of very explicit sexual nature. So be prepared for that. If it somehow goes against maybe some of the ethical, moral, or religious values that you hold, just understand that what we're doing right now, all of the discussions of specific sexual pleasures and specific sexual techniques that we're going to talk about, this is all essential to bring her love back. But if you want to win her heart and her mind, you need to win her body as well. Because if you do everything right in our course, and you do everything right to reignite her feelings towards you and reignite her thoughts about you, but you fail on the sex, everything can go wrong. And imagine if she's with another man, and that another man gives her amazing sexual experience, and after that she's just laying there in paradise thinking about him, and you're just doing everything right emotionally. That will leave you a friend and him a lover. That's not what you want. That is why it is important that we do everything right sexually. So, here's the thing. First and foremost, if you consume pornography, I mean internet porn, forget everything that you see here, that you see in the porn videos, because what is shown in pornography is not realistic. This is not how actual sex happens. There, the woman always starts with a blowjob on the guy, and she's already wet, and she opens up herself, and he has sex with her, and she's just amazed. That's not how it happens in real life. In real life, women, in order to get aroused, most of women, they want sensual touch, they want kissing on the lips, they want a lot of embrace, a lot of stimulation. And it's not just stimulation of her nipples and a little bit of her clitoris. We're talking about the whole body stimulation. And also, please be aware that even women who do enjoy oral sex and anal sex, those things are secondary. They're like little spice on the main dish, and the main dish is vaginal intercourse, because that's where most of your nervous systems that get aroused during sex are in the penis, right? Most of her nervous sensors that get aroused during sex are in her clitoris and inside her vagina. So that means that vaginal sex is very important. It's the most important thing, and it's important to do it right. So foreplay is important. You will not find foreplay in porn because it serves a market of men. And foreplay is not her giving you oral sex, and it actually is not you giving her oral sex, because frankly, more sensuality happens from body-to-body contact. If you both embrace each other a lot in bed, if you kiss her, I'm going to show you specific tricks that you can do that probably nobody had done to her, that will just be mind-blowing for her. So one of the tricks you do, even before sex started, is you find a moment where she is turned her back to you, and you come close to her and you smell her hair like this, and then you say, What that indicates to her is that, first and foremost, there is a very basic instinctual thing when the man is from behind, and he's almost like, you know how cats bite the neck of, like, the male cat bites the neck of the female cat before having intercourse. So this feeling where the man is on the back of the woman. Then another thing is the signal that if you smell her hair on the neck, you kind of like ingest her pheromones and you find it arousing, and you give this deep kind of male voice that really gets her going. Most women that experience that, they kind of say that something is rising inside, like up her spine is like this. So it's very, very good. And then after that, what you can do is do this special balance of dominant and sensual. So pure dominant without sensuality, that could be a turnoff, is just to grab her, you know. That is too much, and not many women, some women love that, but most women don't. Pure sensual without domination would be like this gentle, gentle, humble embrace, right? But instead of that, after you smell her hair, what you do, you grab her like this. And so she's here, you grab her like this. So at the same, from one perspective, you're doing this, so it's kind of very dominant, you kind of own her. But from another perspective, it's not strong, it's not hard, you're not giving her any pain. So I own the situation, but I'm very careful and sensual with you. So this is the whole style of how this thing should run. Same goes with kissing. Many people just kiss on the lips. Some people kind of play with each other's tongue. What I found by observing not only my situation, I'm not giving you just advice from my love life, thank God, because all people are different. I'm giving you advice from what I've observed with other men. So the kiss a woman enjoys is usually lips to lips, and after you kind of engage her lips a lot with the kiss, your tongue goes inside of her tongue, and then you pleasure her inside of her tongue. So this is a dominant kiss. And the way you hold her head is usually like this. So this is her head, you hold it like this, right? So this is also very important. And this kind of kissing, kind of playing with her is very, very important. Ideally, you ignite her passions through touch, through touching her shoulders, through touching her breasts, through touching her, the whole of her body, until she just whispers or says, I want you, enter me now, something like this. That would be the ideal time to start having sex with her. If she's silent about those things, as you touch her, test her down there, and if you find that it's moist, and if you touch her, you get like a little moan, then she's ready. then enter her. Now, what I recommend is that since we want not only sexual but emotional connection, you start your sexual intercourse with her when whether you should be on top of her in classical missionary position, because if you're on top, there is body-to-body contact, right? There's a lot of kissing involved, there is a lot of embrace involved. You can be from the back later, so she can feel, a little bit animalistic and dominated when passion grows stronger. But the first time, there must be a lot of intimate contact. And the position you choose, there should be two factors in the beginning. One, you should be able to be active. So her on top is not something you choose. Second thing, when you are there should be a lot of contact. That's why missionary is very good, or on the side. And then, once the passion goes, then you can be from the back. That also allows for a lot of touching and embrace, and also for strong sexuality. One of the important things is that your sexual function doesn't fail you during the sex, because you're recreating the impression that you're the best lover in her life. Your goal during that sexual intercourse which you're going to have, or multiple sexual intercourses that you're going to have with her, is give her that sensation that you are the best lover she can possibly have, right? And there's two ways men can fail. One, it happens too fast and she doesn't get what she wanted to get. Two, you get nervous and it, becomes soft and it fails you this way. So let's talk about both problems. Problem number one is solved very easily. If you kind of notice how sex goes with you, you'll notice that you don't come suddenly. It kind of comes up as a sensation, and when it comes up, slow down a little bit, so it kind of goes down. And you can stay in this kind of, it goes up, you slow down, then you go faster, slow down. You can stay in this for a very long time, and eventually you can train yourself to last as long as you want and come when you need to. And this is something you can train yourself as well. If you're into that kind of thing, you can train yourself to do this and last as long as you want. The second situation is solved very easily. Before you go into sexual intercourse with her, make sure that you don't ejaculate or have intense masturbation or sex with any other partners for at least 3 or 4 days. Then you will have a lot of sexual strong desire, and your body will not fail you in terms of losing the erection. So this is the best approach. Do I recommend things like Viagra? Actually, I don't, and I have a point why. So one of the things is that it is noticeable that a man is using Viagra because, first of all, there are some when it's like always erect very strongly, even if you have ejaculated, and immediately, even before something starts, it looks fishy, it looks strange. And women are aware that could be Viagra. And second of all, there are some signs, you get red in the face, red eyes and all that stuff. So I wouldn't recommend her finding out what you're doing. So I don't think Viagra is a good choice unless you actually have it prescribed because of your age, because some difficulties. Then it's a totally different story. Ask your doctor. But a non-medical use or some kind of generic substitutes to Viagra, I do not recommend. I don't think it's a good solution. So then let's go to another point. Do we need for her to get an orgasm during sex? Now, there are some women who get orgasm during the actual intercourse from what they call vaginal orgasm, so with clitoris not involved. Most women, however, if they're orgasmic at all, they come or we ejaculate, but they essentially reach orgasm by clitoral stimulation. And the best way to reach that is either a position where there is strong contact of the body when when your body hits her clitoris during sex, or she is liberated enough to put her hand on her clitoris as you enter her, or at certain moment you choose a position where you can control that point, the clitoris point, and stimulate it there. So the best approach in that regard is, once you already did maybe 15 to 20 minutes, see how long that should be, 15 to 20 minutes of position of missionary when you're in, you can turn her on her side, be from the back, then you can enter her from the back. Your one hand can be on her breast or caressing her, and your other hand can be on her clitoris, stimulating the clitoris. So the way to stimulate the clitoris is with a motion down, like this. Not up and back, but only down. But here is the good news. She doesn't have to reach orgasm during sex to feel that she had an amazing experience. My experience shows that what is really important about sex, when we're using sexual contact to reignite the passion and the love between people who used to love each other, but then one of the persons decided to move away and you want to get them back, the strongest thing is a plateau, not the orgasm. So if she just stays in this bliss and you're like giving her a lot of sexual stimulation and she feels amazingly aroused and just goes for a long time, and she's in this kind of hormonal whoa, and she thinking about you, feeling your breath, feeling your touch, this is more important than actually reaching the peak. So you don't have to make sure that she orgasms or anything like that. It just has to be very long sex, passionate sex, and you should see that her eyes are defocused and she's just in this amazing state of, oh my God, I feel so good. So that actually works. This is what really works. So this is what you should be doing. Ideally, like unless she has some sort of condition or she feels pain there, make it as long as possible so she completely gets exhausted in a happy way from a sexual contact with her. So that is the ideal way to do this. I've done, all I told you is something that has been researched. So this is based on research. This is based on the experience of my clients, specifically male clients that got successfully back with their women, wives, girlfriends, doesn't really matter. And this is also based on just finding the right things that work for people. As you see, many things that I have advised are not usual, not what people usually advise to do. So now I'm going to give you some advice which will be even more controversial. And the advice I'm going to give you from this point is not necessary. It's like a super additional things which are very strong, very effective, but they don't have to. So, if you want the sex to be completely like mind-blowing for her, one of the ways to get yourself to the right state is to not ejaculate or orgasm for 2 weeks before you go in contact with her. You will notice that there's actually a test. If you're less than 45, 50 years old, you still have normal levels of testosterone. But if you do not ejaculate or come or reach orgasm as a man for a few weeks, and you will give a blood test for testosterone, what you will see is that the level of testosterone is not 100%, but 140 to 150%. And when you're in sexual contact with her, she will feel the testosterone in your passion, and also through your pheromones and through the smell that you generate as you perspirate, as you sweat. And she will feel that strong masculine vibe from you. So this is very important. This is one of the ways to do this. I'm not saying this is the way to do it, but it is something that really helps. So another thing, remember that the sexual passion that you have and the sexual approach should be both of caring and dominance in a good way. Not dominance in terms of hurting her or hitting her, not in the slightest. You should not do that. Dominance instead of in terms of leadership, in terms of like being in good control, her feeling that she can completely trust you. This is very important. This is what works on most women. There are rare exceptions of women who are dominant in bed. In that case, if you already know that she's that kind of woman, just relax and let her have sex with you. But that's a very rare case. Most women want to be led, want the man to lead. This is very, very important. Another important thing is that there is a reason why this course is very compact. It's done this way so you can re-listen to this as a checklist before meeting her and knowing that there will be sexual contact. It could be your preparation so you don't forget anything, right? So now you listen to this, that's a good thing. But listen to this on the day before you're going to meet her. And it will be a completely different experience because you will remember some certain things that you probably haven't heard anywhere before, but only heard on this course. If you do all the things that I told you in this course, I can guarantee no man had done that to her. This will be the sexual experience of her life. And if every sexual experience of her life will be like that, plus you will do all the other things that you get in my courses, like she has no chance but to fall back in love with you again and completely melt into you, and you will be the only man for her. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this information and make sure to implement this information in your sex life.